Presentation. This is a Science Alive presentation being given by B6 group of a 4-year program at Maharaja Agrawal College. I would like to introduce to you students who will be giving this presentation. First one is Sohail Bhatti. He is a computer science student. Then we have Nidhi Sachdeva. She is a BMS student. Then we have Ayushi Anand. She is a student of journalism. And then we have Saru Barar. She is a student of computer science. I now invite them to give this presentation. I also welcome Dr. Krishan Kumar, who is present with us. He also teaches Science and Life course in this college.
Good morning, everyone. Today, the students of this college are here to present our views through the medium of PowerPoint presentation on the topic that holds really great importance these days, that is renewable sources of energy developing to sustain future. In this presentation, we will be dealing with the topics such as introduction to the topic, the types of different renewable sources of energy, their abilities, their characteristics, the current scenario and future projects. And at the end, we will be discussing the research work that we did with the help of our teachers and the college faculty. Next slide. Whenever you hear about a topic, the first thing that comes out to our mind that what is this topic all about? So beginning with that thing only, that what are the renewable sources of energy? The energy resources that can be generated using naturally occurring phenomena such as sun, wind, sea waves, etc. are called renewable energy sources. Next slide. The different types of energy sources can be broadly classified into 5 categories such as solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, tidal energy, hydro energy. Next. So now my friend Saru will tell you more about hydropower by sharing her views. Next slide.
Hydro is a Greek term meaning water. So anything, the energy generated with the help of water is known as hydroelectric power. Now hydroelectric power is a sustainable source of energy and renewable source of energy because we all know water will be there through a natural phenomenon known as water cycle. Next slide. The water cycle is the natural phenomena, and in this process the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Then the kinetic energy is converted into mechanical, and further mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy with the help of turbines and generators. Next. So there are 2 types of hydropower plants. First is the high-headed, in which the height is relatively high and it's around 25 to 30 meters, more than 25 to 30 meters. Next slide. This is the second is the low-headed hydropower plants, in which the height is less, around 20 feet, and according to the height, even the power matters. So more the height, more is the power; less the height, less is the power. Next slide. Now the basic concept which occurs in a hydroelectric power plant is of turbines. Now turbines is not a new research or something. 2000 years ago, Greek used to use the same technology for grinding flour into wheat. So over here, the water is allowed through a penstock, through which it flows into a spiral tube, which makes the water turbulent, and with the help of that, the turbine rotates and a generator is connected to it, and hence electrical energy is converted. Next slide. So these are the different types of turbines. Water wheel technology advanced over the time. Turbines are advanced, very efficient water wheels. So they are often enclosed to further capture water's energy. India is blessed and it holds the 5th position in hydropower plants. We have different basins like Indian Basin. It has the capacity of 33,832 megawatt. Central Indian River System, Brahmaputra Basin. Next. But everything has consequences. So even hydropower plant has consequences like upstream flooding, its declining fish population, decreased quality of water, and reduced quality of upstream and downstream. Next. Hydropower is an important renewable energy source worldwide, and it's been used very much, and it's very efficient. And you can see the various pictures. So many hydropower plants have been established around the world. Now I request Lynn to come up and explain tidal energy.
Tidal energy. Another renewable source of energy. As the name suggests, tidal energy has something to do with tides. So it is a form of hydropower that converts the energy of tides into useful form of power. Next slide. Now looking at the properties, that what are the properties, or we can say the characteristics of tidal energy. Number one being that it draws energy from this small slide of made. This one. Nine. Now the properties, or we can say the characteristics of tidal energy. Number one being the tides are ultimately due to the Earth's gravitational interaction with Moon, Sun and Earth's rotation. So tidal energy is because of that. It is more predictable than the other conventional renewable sources like solar energy and wind energy because the rise and fall in tides is much more cyclic than random weather patterns. It is the only technology that draws energy inherent in the orbital characteristics of Earth-Moon system. Next slide. Now, when we look at this tidal energy, it will fascinate us at how this energy is generated from tides. So, there are three basic techniques or methods to generate tidal energy. Number one being tidal stream generator. The second is tidal barrages, which is a dam-like structure that converts the potential energy of tides into electricity. And the last is dynamic tidal power that basically use the kinetic and the potential energy of tides.
Thank you so much, sir, for telling your enlightened views on wind energy. Talking about solar energy, what is solar energy exactly? The radiant light and heat which we get from the sun and use it and harness with ever-evolving technologies such as solar thermal activities and solar photovoltaics. What is solar energy? It originates on the surface of the sun with thermonuclear fusion reactions. Solar power. What is solar power? What solar energy is exactly? It's the solar power which is the sunlight which we get is converted into electricity with the help of photovoltaic cells. How much solar energy reaches us? Out of the 100% of solar energy, only 47% of the energy has reached us. Some of it is absorbed in the land and some of it is scattered in the air. One of the example of using solar energy is a water heater, solar water heater. There is a flat plate collector which absorbs the sun's energy and converts and heats the water. And beneath that plate, there is water which circulates through convectional currents. And after that, we have those tanks of hot water are used as storage. Next slide. This is the image of the power tower in Pasadena, California. Now I'll tell you how this solar panels actually work. The photovoltaic cells which are present on the surface of the solar panels, they are capable of directly converting the sunlight into electricity. A simple wafer of silicon with wires attached to the layers. Current is produced based on different types of silicon, that is N types and P types, used for the layers. Each cell carries 0.5 volts. Solar panels and trees. Though we know that the setting up cost of solar panel is quite high, around 55 lakhs, but the benefits which it gives around for lifespan of 20 years are usually more high. Back. Because of their current cost, only rural and other customers far away from power lines use solar panels because it is more cost effective rather than say economic, rather than extending the whole power lines to them. Coming on to the advantages and disadvantages of solar panels. Solar energy is very vast source. It is a global source that it reaches anywhere on Earth. And there is no moving part in the solar panels, so there is no point of getting wear and tear in the solar panels. Though it is exposed to the weather, so the lifespan of the solar panel is around 20 years. Coming to the disadvantages, sun does not shine consistently. That is, of course, you have night, so it does not shine consistently. The main approach problem is collecting the solar energy, converting it, and then storing it. Battery is needed for storage. Right? Though the argument that the sun does not shine consistently can be countered by the fact that 70% of the energy is needed in the day, and the rest 30% which is needed in the night can be used, the energy can be used through making some alternatives and traditional methods of generating electricity. And the goal is to decrease our dependence on the fossil fuels these days. That 75% of our dependence is on fossil fuels such as coal burning and nuclear power plants. So we need to reduce our dependence on non-renewable sources. And it also mitigates the effect of acid rain, carbon dioxide and other impacts of burning coal. It is pollution free and indefinitely sustainable. Now I call upon Suhail to tell you more about our Thagaraj Stadium visit and Terra Power.
Good morning. We visited Thagaraj Stadium to make sure that there are some plans going on in our capital, the Indian capital Delhi. Next slide. Thagaraj Stadium is the first green stadium that is built by the government of Delhi. This was initiative taken by Sheila Dikshit and government. This stadium is spread over an area of 16,000 square feet. This is near the INA market, and it has various qualities that makes it a green stadium. This has a rain harvesting plant. Both on the rooftop there are tanks, and also there are some arrangements made in the ground also to store the rainwater. It has a capacity of 2 lakh. It has the capacity of harvesting 2 lakh liters per day to harvest this water. And also we came across the interesting fact of Terra Power. It is actually under development these days, but it is going to be in market soon. The Terra Power. This is the first self-refueling power. By self-refueling, I mean that the depleted fossil fuel, the depleted fuel can be reused as the new fuel. So we do not need to refuel the nuclear plant as time to time. The burnt fuel can be used as the fuel itself. Next slide. The Terra Power is based on the traveling wave reactor technology. It is TWR, or traveling wave reactor. Why it is traveling wave reactor? Because the nuclear fission that is taking place in the reactor is not static. It starts at the walls of the container and ends in the center. So this is the traveling wave reactor. It uses uranium-238 as its main fuel, but it needs some amount of uranium-235 to get started. Next slide. This is the simple chain reaction of how the reaction takes place. Uranium-238 that absorbs one neutron released by uranium-235 and releases energy, and then again releases uranium.